which of the following statement relating to the regulation of the renal blood flow is true? That means in case of regulation of the renal blood flow, which is not true in the following option, that means which is the false regarding the kidney. Here are the options. In a healthy 70 kg male, the glomerular filtration rate will be same as the systolic blood pressure of 120 millimeter of mercury as a systolic pressure of 90 millimeter mercury. That means when systolic blood pressure 120 millimeter mercury and when it is 95 millimeter mercury, the glomerular filtration rate will be the same. Is it true or false? Over 90% of blood supply of the kidney distribution in the cortex. That means most of the blood flow to the adrenal cortex, the kidney cortex. Both kidney receives approximately 25% of the total cardiac output. Decrease in renal perfusion pressure will causes Jesse cell or juxtaglomerular cell to release of the renin. Systolic blood pressure less than 65, then the mesangial cell secrete the aldosterone. From there, we have to separate a option which is false, which is not true regarding the blood flow. So let's see, the kidney autoregulates. That means the blood flow of the kidney, it is maintained by the kidney own. When the blood pressure fluctuates all the time, the kidney maintains it is normal blood supply, and the range between 80 to 180 most of them millimeter mercury. So when blood pressure is 100 or blood pressure is 120 or 140, and when blood pressure 80, in all the condition the blood flow to the kidney will be the same. When the drop in arterial pressure, it is sensed by the Jesse cell or juxtaglomerular cell. So when there is dropping of the blood pressure, it is sensed by the juxtaglomerular cell which is present in the glomerulus. Renin is released in case of the when there is arterial pressure less. So the renin, which is the important hormone, it is released when there is the drop of the arterial blood pressure or renal arterial pressure, and then renin angiotensin system is activated, which is the and finally renin angiotensin aldosterone system is activated, which is known as the RAS, renin angiotensin aldosterone system. Mesangial cell are contractile cell, and they are located in the tubule and have no direct endocrine function. That means the mesangial cell, which is the contractile cell, but it has no direct endocrine function. Here the autoregulation of the GFR. What is the autoregulation? It is the intrinsic power or intrinsic capacity of the kidney to keep the renal blood flow and GFR within the normal limit, though there is the significant blood pressure changes, and it ranges from the 75 to 160 millimeter mercury. In some author, it denotes 80 to 180 millimeter mercury, and it is achieved by myogenic autoregulation and tuboglomerular feedback mechanism. There another important information that about 90 to 95% of the blood it is passing through the cortex, and about 5 to 10% in the medulla. So in the cortex there is the maximum amount of the blood, and it is 90 to 95%, and in the medulla there is very small amount of blood, which is the 5 to 10%. This is the normal distribution of the total body content. In the kidney, here you can see the 22% of the whole blood goes to kidney. It is 22 to 25%, and here we can see it is the maximum among the all organ. Though kidney is a small organ, but it flows almost 25%, 22 to 25%, and in the gastrointestinal tract it goes about 21%, and other area here you can see all are relatively a smaller amount. In case of heart muscle, it is 3%, bones 5%, skin 6%, brain 14%, skeletal muscle 15%. So now it is our answer. The systolic blood pressure, when it is less than 65 millimeter mercury, it causes aldosterone secretion. It is false, because the aldosterone it is secreted by the adrenal cortex. Actually the zona glomerulosa of the adrenal cortex of the adrenal cortex secrete aldosterone. Other option is here, in healthy 70 kg male, when blood pressure 120 and blood pressure 95 millimeter mercury, it is within the range of the autoregulation, which is 70 to 160. In this condition, the glomerular filtration rate will be the same. Over 90% of the blood supply through distributed in the cortex. It is also true, because 90 to 95% of the blood, they are distributed in the cortex, and both kidney receive approximately 25% of the total cardiac output. It is also true. And a decrease of renal perfusion pressure will cause JG cell or juxtaglomerular cell to release of the renin. It is also true.